What's up guys, it's your girl Foxy here and thanks for tuning in. So today I'm gonna do something really special and share the birth of my twins with you guys. So this is gonna be an in-depth video, very detailed about my whole birth process, all right? So thanks for tuning in. So initially, in my previous video, when I did my third trimester overview and update, I mentioned that I went into preterm labor at 33 weeks with my twin boys, and then the doctors managed to stop all that, and then they monitored me over, the following weeks. Ideally, the goal was that I would be giving birth to the twins at 37 weeks. With twins, they tend not to let you go too far past 37 weeks. It depends what type of twins you have, but with me in particular, they advise that it's better we would start the induction process at 37 weeks. Now, because we went into this false alarm at 33 weeks, they had to be monitoring me every week. So since I got let out of the hospital at 33 weeks, they followed up a scan and they did a whole assessment at 34 weeks. And then they started to realize that one of the Doppler readings was off, which is practically just blood flow of one of my twins was limited, or it was less and it was reducing, and it affected the growth of his head. So they first initially noticed that the head measurement wasn't growing as it was before that 33-week mark. And because of that, it was really like, okay, we gotta monitor you even closer. So then they said, come back in 4 days. Now we went from a scan and a checkup and meeting up with my doctor once a week to now 4 days later. So this is at 34 weeks. Now at 35 weeks, when we did the 4-day scan after I got released, now they noticed that, you know what? I think we need to consider maybe getting you to come in for a induction at 36 weeks. So we set on that time because the baby's were growing perfectly, but they were concerned that if they had to leave it any longer, it may put one of the babies in danger. So they decided, you know what? For everyone to be on the safe side, they've got their shots, so their lungs are ready there to go. Let's leave it to the latest at 36 weeks. So I went in on the Tuesday, on exactly when I was 36 weeks pregnant, went in thinking I was gonna be induced and everything was gonna go perfectly. On arrival, I was told that there weren't enough beds.
Hello. So it's currently 9:30 a.m. on the 14th of October. Yesterday I was booked in to do an induction to get these babies out. Unfortunately, they were tight with staff and there were no beds available. So obviously priority goes to women who are in labor. So we did the first half of my induction, which was just putting a balloon inside my cervix, or inside my uterus really, to ripen the cervix. And that usually stays in for 24 hours, and then they take it out and see if they can break waters from there. But mine fell out, which is also normal. Fell out, and then the midwife tested me, and I was 4 centimeters dilated at the time. So now we're just waiting. I'm waiting for my midwife. So it's the next morning now. I've been 4 centimeters dilated since yesterday. We haven't checked again. We don't know what I am now. But 4 centimeters is enough for her to break my waters. But then again, we're waiting for a bed. There's no point starting labor and then there are no beds in delivery suite.
There weren't enough beds and there wasn't enough staff, which is a constant issue. But you know what? it's okay because when you really think about it, I mean, it wasn't okay then because I was a little bit impatient and I already had things in my mind on how things were going to go. I thought I was going to have my babies today or, the following day. But no, they told me there weren't enough beds and they didn't have enough staffing. And my midwife, you guys, was amazing. She was like, you know what? I can fill in as an extra staff. I'll be here with her. I can break her waters if I have to. I can do the whole lot. And she was prepared to do that for me, which is very rare of midwives to do, apparently. Other nurses told me that. So I really, really love this woman, okay? She's very special to me. But, she was a great support system. It didn't happen on the Tuesday when I went in at 36 weeks. So 36 weeks in a day, again. The following day, it didn't happen again. So on the Wednesday night is when they decided they were going to insert the balloon. Now, what the balloon is, it's just, it goes up and sits just below the cervix, or even, I think it's in the cervix actually, yeah. It goes right in the cervix between, like, let's say this is the cervix, goes all the way in and sits right here, okay? My imagery is amazing. But maybe I might insert an image to really show you guys where it sits. And the idea is that they inflate it and it will help you dilate over the course of 24 hours. Now, if you are a woman who's already had babies, your cervix is already kind of soft anyway around this time. So the chances of the balloon slipping out and falling out, which is what you want, is very high because you're naturally at this stage already kind of dilated. The cervix is quite soft and stretchy and whatever. So I'm not a midwife, by the way, disclaimer. So my terminology is gonna just be like a mama's terminology, okay? But yes, so I went in, got the balloon inserted. My experience with the balloon, you guys, it was a bit of cramping. Like anyone who has gone through, I'm guessing you're watching this, maybe if this is your first time, having babies, but it's almost like a period, like a crampy feeling, right? A period pain feeling. It's a bit uncomfortable, but it's not painful. So all they do is they put your legs up and then, you lean back like you're about to take off into space in a rocket ship. It really, you're practically almost 90 degrees backwards, and they insert it, and then, there's a bit of, it's a long cord that hangs out, and then you wait for that bad boy to drop out. And then you're good to go. That's enough, for your cervix to be dilated enough to start something, right? So they insert that, they leave it in for 24 hours. That was actually not bad. So I had it in for maybe, I wanna say 3 or 4 hours. I was laying there and I had messaged my midwife and she goes, well, you know what? How about you just get up and see and walk around because it might just fall out. And I was like, really? Come on now. Literally just got off the phone with her. I got up and, like, I'm not even kidding, I just felt it fall out. So I was excited because I thought, yay, finally. And this was in the evening. So I was like, yay, we can finally get this labor going, Someone can come break these waters and let's wait for these boys to come out. But, at the hospital, they insist that with twins, not to have them in the evening or at night because they have a limitation with staffing. I think with less doctors with twins, it's a bit of a high risk situation. So we didn't have enough doctors, and so they said, you know what, just let her be. Let's not try break or, intervene with any labor. If it happens naturally, then it happens naturally. They'll find a bed and whatever. But anyway, it was fine and I was okay waiting, and I waited until the following day. And that morning there was a bed available on the Thursday, and we went in. My midwife came in, broke my waters. Now I had discussed this with the doctor already, but they really advised me to go with an epidural just because a lot can happen with twins, apparently, where one twin can come up and the other may decide to present breech or may want to flip and, lay transverse or whatever, and then you have to go in for C-section. So it helps to have the epidural in prior to, or when the labor starts, so that in case any complications are there, they can intervene immediately instead of putting you under. So you already have, you know, that epidural on deck. So I chose to go with the epidural just because I knew these were my last babies, and there's 2 of them, so I'm going in uncharted territories. Before, I didn't use epidural with my first daughter, but honestly, it was an amazing birth. I highly recommend it. It was calm. We were joking around. We were laughing in between contractions. And I chose to go with the epidural where you can press the button and, you know, you can release it into your system when you feel like you need it. And then if I leave it, it will release itself in intervals, maybe like 4 times within an hour. But yeah, so I decided to do that. I just let it do its thing. So that I could feel some contractions. You know, I didn't want to be out in, you know, painless land and not knowing when a contraction's coming around. So that was quite interesting. And so, yeah, I had I had a great time in between my contractions. And, you know, after waters are broken, labor naturally is activated really quickly. So your contractions come in really quick, very close together, and they intensify more. So I noticed that things were moving along really quickly. But then again, because I had the epidural, it was a little bit like, you know, it was a little bit like a bit of a holiday, you know, compared to my very first labor. I was really enjoying it, and I had amazing midwives. And the doctors on deck were also amazing. But my particular midwife, you guys, was 100%. And we were chatting in between contractions and everything. Then, I think one distinctive thing that I remember was them coming to me and saying, hey, because it's a twin pregnancy, we're going to have a few teams in here. So we had the NICU, so Neonatal Intensive Care Unit team there. In case the babies come out and, you know, because they're preterm babies, you know. So because they're preterm, you know, premature babies, in case there are any complications with their breathing, you know, a lot can happen. We don't know, right? We don't know what their condition is because they're still in there. So, you know, they have to have a team ready, 2 beds ready. And because of, you know, double babies, there's double the teams, right? So they told me initially that there are going to be a lot of people here, which I was a little bit uncomfortable with. And my midwife was lovely. You know, she said, look, if anything, she came to me and my husband and said, look, if anything is going down and you don't like it and you feel a little bit uncomfortable, like just, Rebecca, just look at me, signal me, and I got you, and I'll come over and I'll address it. So I'm the type of person, when I go through pain, I want people to be quiet. I want the room to be quiet because I want to get in my head and work the pain through in my head, right? And it was great. And, you know, they were telling people midway through my pain, you know, and some of the doctors were told to stand behind the curtain, which was good. I mean, in hindsight now, looking back, I was so much into the labor that none of that matters. Like, you know, I didn't care so much at that time who was in the room, but there were a lot of people in the room. So then, you know, the active labor started, and then you know you're ready when they're like, all right, can you feel the pressure? I can feel the pressure. All right, that's the head. Now we're about to start pushing, baby girl. So we started pushing, and you know, we got, you know, first baby out. Honestly, I didn't even feel like I was pushing that much, right? Because I had the epidural, and at that point I stopped it because obviously when you push with the contraction. So I really wanted to know, because I'm numb down there, I wanted to feel some sensation of a contraction, so it's an indicator of this is time to push, right? So what was happening was I would feel the pressure and I would push and I'll push. But because the epidural was in for majority of the beginning of the labor, the baby, you know, the first baby engaged and went down really smoothly without a lot of pain and without a lot of effort. then it came push, 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 and I pushed the baby out. And I thought that the first baby came out really quickly, guys. And I remember they're like, okay, the head's there, okay, relax. And my midwife is amazing. We've done this so many times with her that, you know, like we just get each other. And she was like, you got this, you got this. I'm like, okay, okay. And then she goes, stop. And you have to stop even when moments when your body's telling you, push this baby out. So it was really cool. And we got the first baby out, and I remember him coming out, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so tiny. And which is expected, right? Your babies are gonna be tiny. Well, I guess some moms actually have big sized babies, even twin babies, but because they're sharing such little space in there, they're a little bit on the smaller side. So my first baby came out and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so small. And they put him right here. And there's this amazing photo that I love because, you know, as soon as the baby comes out, they had to hold my stomach to make sure that the second baby stays in the right position, because they were both head down, stays in the same position as he moves down into my pelvis, which was amazing. Like, you can just imagine I had 2 midwives, and then I had the doctors, and then I had someone holding my stomach. I can't even tell you who was around me, but there's this beautiful picture of me holding my baby, and they're like, okay, get ready to push. And then I've got the baby. I'm like, is anybody gonna hold the baby? Like, okay, we're good, the baby's good. And then I push, 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 push. It was just a superwoman moment for me when I saw that photo. But yeah, anyway, so the second baby took a little bit longer, right? To calm down, just because I had to do a lot of the work. I had stopped the epidural already, so I had to do a lot of work. But he came down perfectly, but then it felt like he took forever. There's a 15-minute gap between my twins, which apparently is long for twins. Usually it's a few minutes apart. It really felt like I was pushing a massive thing out. I mean, labor feels like that, but this was like, you know, extra. So there I am pushing this kid, and they're telling me, come on, come on, come on. And I'm like, why isn't this baby coming out? And I looked at them like, how many more pushes? Which I'm sure midwives hate hearing that. But I was really like, you know, the moment in labor when you feel like, I don't think I can do this. But, you know, you target your superwoman in you, you get in your head, it's like, girl, you can do this, you got this. And then I pushed again, and this baby, and I just saw the looks on their faces. They were like, he's coming out in the sack. And I thought, what? What do you mean? They're like, feel him, he's coming out in the sack. And I thought, what do you mean in the sack? Meanwhile, they're telling my husband, come take a photo, come take a photo. You know how rare this is, come take a photo. Come here, come here, come here, come here. And then while it's like, hold, and I'm there, hold, trying to push and hold and breathe at the same time and hold the other baby at the same time. And then he came out, and my second baby, you guys, was born in his amniotic sac. It happens 1 in 80,000 times, and apparently it's one of those special things. I mean, obviously it's special because it's rare, but and on top of that, people think it's like good luck, and you know, apparently sailors used to go and purchase some of the, it's quite gross, but some of the sack, and go, you know, on their trips with them so that they don't drown or whatever. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff attached to this, but it was really special. He was born fully in his sack, still curled up, and you know, they were just all marveling over it, like, come take a photo, have you taken the photo? And then it was like, all right, let's pop the sack, right? Let's break these waters, pop the sack out. And then they're trying to get, because everyone's got gloves on, right? So they're trying to get the thing popped, and it didn't want to pop, and you know, my baby just wanted to stay there a little longer. But sure enough, he came out, they handed him over to me, and they were both perfect. They were just stunning, in great condition, you know, none of them, and this is the special part, is that my babies didn't need to go to NICU. And it's very, it's one of those things that I mentally try to prepare myself for that, in case they need extra attention. At the end of the day, that's the best place for them if they're not well, you know, or if they're not where they need to be. But, you know, it's hard for any parent. You've just given birth and you have to leave your kid at the hospital. Like, you know, it's very difficult. And I prayed on it. And thank God they didn't have to spend any time in NICU. They had a NICU team coming and checking up on us to make sure that we were okay. But yeah, that was my birth story, you guys. It was very peaceful, very lighthearted, a lot of laughter, and a lot of just, you know, just easy, you know. It almost very similar to the pregnancy, you know, very easy, very different from my previous experiences, you know, where, you know, you're stressing out during labor. But at the end of the day, you do what you have to do to get your babies out. And I had an amazing time. It was painless. It's a lot of work to push a baby out, but even that, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world. That experience was amazing. And I'm doing this, I'm sharing my story like this to let you know that it's not always scary, you know. Labor is not always scary. It's not, yes, it has moments of pain. It's supposed to, you know, that's part of the process, but this is temporary pain. And at the end of the day, you can do it. You know, your body's made for this, like literally. So yeah, guys, that's my birth story. And, you know, my baby being born in the sack was very special. I will insert photos in here for you guys. What really helped me and what contributed to that was the support system I had. My husband was amazing at the birth. I think because this is like our last lot of kids, he's been through it so many times. He was really calm, you know, and everyone was just calm. And the midwives were amazing, but my particular midwife was just amazing. She's just down to earth, super supportive and reassuring. When you have people that are with you that know what they're doing and know how to take care of a pregnant woman the way she did, and, you know, willing to go the extra mile to make sure that my babies are delivered and I'm taken care of. You know, that is something you can't get in someone. You know, people do their jobs, but some other people do their jobs and they love it and they go the extra mile. And that's what my experience was with my midwife. And the hospital's midwives also were amazing. You know, you wouldn't even think it was a labor that was going down there. It was just, I wish I had moments where we had recorded some of it to share with you guys, but it was really, really good. I'll insert some photos of when my babies, my big babies meet my little babies. It was an amazing experience. That's all I can say. And yeah, comment below if you have any questions. I am super open and I will share and you know, respond however way I can. And don't forget to watch my previous videos. If you're here and you're a twin mommy or you're expecting twins, I have some really cool videos to help you maybe go through your whole pregnancy. Just, you know, the first trimester, what to expect, second trimester and third trimester. But, you know, at the end of the day, the finish line is near. I gave birth at 36 weeks and 3 days, I think. But yeah, which is kind of okay considering we wanted to give birth around 37 weeks. But yeah, my babies were healthy, thank God, and we were kept in the post-delivery suites at the hospital. But then again, I found the hospital beds to be really small. I was given a room on my own, but I found it really small and very uncomfortable and very like claustrophobic. And I was doing a lot on my own. So I did say after 3 days, I requested that my babies and I, actually no, after 2 days, I requested that I come home. And they were shocked. They thought, why? You know, and I thought, wait, why are we here though? You know, because really my babies and I can go. They don't need any medical attention. And this is not the first time me being a mommy. I don't need that extra help. I already have support system with my post-care with my midwife. I have my husband at home and my babies at home. I just want, in my head, you guys, I just wanted to be on my corner lounge suite. Just blob there, you know, because I was still, you know, in the beginning stages, you're still trying to latch these babies on. You're still trying to do tandem feeding. You're trying to figure it out. And I felt that, you know, that environment in the hospital wasn't working for me, especially because with twins, there's a lot. I'm going to do another video about, you know, what it's like the first 2-3 weeks with twins, right? But it's a lot. There's a lot there that you need to be doing, and you do need extra support. Yes, they have nurses there, but they're not always available. And I know this sounds really bad, and you kind of feel annoying ringing that bell, calling nurses every time, when you know quite well you could be doing that in the comfort of your home. So I had a bit of a really dark experience, but nevertheless, I will discuss that in another video. But yeah, I had the support of my midwife, and you know, she really rallied for me and said, you know what? A hospital is not a prison. You can go, baby girl, whenever you want to. You can go to a birthing center, which is more spacious, and you still get enough support because there's less women at the birth center. But I didn't end up going there. I just came home after 3 days after having my babies, and I wouldn't have done it any other way. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed the pregnancy. I thoroughly enjoyed the labor, and I'm thoroughly enjoying my twins right now. It's a very special honor to be a twin mommy. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this is helpful. And if you are expecting twins, best of luck, mommy, and thanks for tuning in. Ciao, guys.